Here's something cool. This entire Dad Hats brand package, logo icon, product shot, and catalog mockup were created in only a few moments each using Midjourney. Midjourney is so good these days, I can't even stand it. And I want you to think about this. These hat images were created by me using Midjourney in about 30 seconds. Not each, total time. The results are getting so amazing in Midjourney that it's changing everything for creative professionals. How we iterate, how we think, what we can do. So the secret to Midjourney success isn't finding the perfect prompt through trial and error. It's understanding a few core principles that most creators skip. So in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you 3 professional techniques that you can use right now to learn how to use Midjourney. And hey, here's the part most YouTube tutorials miss completely. Midjourney isn't just for creating pretty pictures. It's a professional tool that can save you hours on client deliverables, like these brand assets showing the product, that camouflage hat, in use. This means you can claw back some time for all the other things that you might have going on in your life. You know what I mean. Here's the thing. I discovered that the difference between amateur and professional results comes down to a few basic approaches, and that's what we're going to cover today. I'm going to show you 3 basic techniques that's going to give you immediate better results, and I'm going to do it with some real-world examples. We're going to create some images for a new Italian restaurant called Pomodoro. And we'll use these examples to illustrate to you the 3 most important basic workflow tips that you can use when starting out using Midjourney. By the way, if you're a veteran Midjourney user, you might want to pay attention to these too, right? So here's how are you going to learn to create better images much faster. So let's talk about the first tip. Specificity wins. You don't need a giant word salad of prompts that you might have copied and pasted in from ChatGPT. Use a combination of the highly specific prompt words that matter most, plus the power of a built-in Midjourney tool set. Let me show you how by starting with the brand icon for Pomodoro, right? We're only creating the icon because, we're going to be typesetting that later when you bring into Illustrator. And by the way, pro tip, if you want to learn more, go ahead and get Midjourney fired up in another tab and follow along with this video by copying and pasting some of the words and techniques that I'm using, and then you can play along as we go. So here's the prompt that we're going to use to start. By the way, did you take my advice to follow along? If so, type in these words exactly and then hit go to see your results. And by the way, based on creating thousands of logo ideas, I know that using specific words such as minimalistic, iconic, and logo can help get to the end result that we want. And by the way, Pomodoro tomato is the subject, and I want you to notice that it isn't the first prompt in the sequence, it's minimalistic, because we're telling Midjourney exactly what we want. The order that we put the words in Midjourney matters, right? Isolated sticker, thick, bold, white outline, isolated, flat, white background, right? These words all help produce the exact type of image, which is something that we're going to use to vectorize later in Illustrator. Raw tells Midjourney to use my prompts more exactly and not to over elaborate the render, because Midjourney does that sometimes. And lastly, I'm using a mood board here. So this is a profile parameter, and if you look, you see a gibberish looking word right after it, right? So this personal profile here is a saved group of all the top logos of the world, and I'm instructing Midjourney to use that as the inspiration for our work here, right? By the way, more on mood boards later. So we've used the prompt and repeatedly created images a few times. And I'm not going to show you that just to save time. And every time Midjourney gave us 4 results with each attempt, So in a span of about 2 minutes, we created dozens of different logo variations by not only repeating the prompt, but also choosing very subtle or very strong on the results that we liked. And here are the top 3 that we came up with. So which one of these do you like the best? And remember, specificity wins here. So let's review the prompt choices and see how they actually related to the results that we received. So next, we're going to take our favorite version, which I did, and we downloaded it, we brought it into Illustrator, we vectorized it, and then we added some text. And being more specific with our prompts saved us a bunch of time. And because we kind of knew what we wanted before we started, we did everything here in about 2 or 3 minutes. So we curated the choices that Midjourney gave us, and we created a brand icon that we could use to play around with, and we created a new brand identity for Pomodoro in a very short amount of time. So next, let's talk about how we can get results faster with a couple power moves, right? So as a creative professional, you want fantastic results, but also delivered with speed. And to show you that, I'm going to create some staffing uniform ideas with something called power permutations. And I don't want you to focus so much on the uniforms, I want you to focus on the workflow. Again, if you're following along in Midjourney, copy the next prompt that I'm going to show you to try this out. So here's the new prompt. The power move here is in the curly bracket with woman or man separated by a comma. Here's the thing. Why only create one idea at a time when we can try several? So anything inside these curly brackets instructs Midjourney to give you that variable result. Here we're creating a set of images with a female waiter and a different set of images with a male waiter simultaneously. Yep, that's how we roll. So here are our favorite results. And as you can see, Midjourney gives us great results with that specific prompt. But what really gave us the variety is using the curly bracket power permutations technique. This is how you can test variables, by the way, such as color, texture, patterns, shapes, lighting, or any other gazillion idea that you might have floating around in your head. Then you can expand on that idea later. By the way, if you can create one image that you like, you can create others using it as the basis for a new thought. Here's another image with that same young woman working. And if you want to learn more how to do this, check out the video we made on the SREF parameter, by the way, which stands for omni-reference. It's going to really blow you away and you'll love it. Another power move you might want to consider is the repeat command. This allows you to instruct Midjourney to give you more than one result at a time. It's easy to use. Just type in --R and follow that with a number such as 3. And when we say 3, we're telling Midjourney to not give us just one set of 4 images, but to give us 3 sets of 4 images. This is how we can immediately get a dozen different images to curate right off the bat. It's truly a power move, but hey, I want you to use some caution. So if you're on a lower tier Midjourney plan, using this can totally eat up your GPU hours if you're not careful, but I suggest you definitely try this out at least once. So here's a screenshot of all 12. From here, we're going to pick out our favorite to work with and drive better results, which is the one on the upper left. And if we pick that one, we can instantly iterate 4 slightly different versions with the very subtle command, or we can click that same image and choose very strong to get more different results, but kind of with that same idea. And you can repeat these steps several times to play around and find something that truly fits what we want, like this, right? So how hungry does that make you, right? This is how quickly we can dial in an idea that will totally work for our project. It's just that easy. And it's no secret that with an image generator tool like Midjourney, you can create virtually anything you want. A photo, a painting, a graphic illustration, maybe even an image of some sculpture, right? So when you have unlimited possibilities, many people find that frankly really scary, because when you can create anything, where do you actually start? The struggle's real, folks. And our third and last tip for beginners is all about that. And we want you to hone in on an art style choice and learn how to control it using a creative volume knob. And I'm going to show you what I mean. So let's take a look at that same idea for a plate of lasagna. And I want to see how many different ways we can manipulate it and create some interesting images for the new Pomodoro restaurant. So here's that same prompt that we've been using before. But now, let me show you how this looks with a couple SREF codes added in to give some art direction to the prompting. An SREF code, by the way, is a number that is tied to a particular art aesthetic. Anyone using that code, for example, 259, is going to get that same art style and it'll have similar results. Again, we're using the power permutations command to iterate here 4 different art looks at the same time. Each of these numbers represents a different way of rendering that plate of lasagna. And by the way, this can be really anything, whatever you're cooking up, right? But here's what I mean. So boom, which one of these is your favorite? You can control how SREF code renders the subject if you don't like these with the style weight. So the style weight is a number from 0 to 1,000 that tells Midjourney exactly how much of the SREF code to use to create the image. This is a measured way to control it, kind of like a volume knob on a radio. So the higher the number, the more of the SREF code you want. So the default, by the way, is set to 100. And if you don't want to type in a style weight number for 100, it just does it automatically, right? So it's kind of like that first plate of lasagna that we showed you earlier. That had a style weight of 100. So let's take that style weight idea and use the power permutations command like we were doing earlier. But now we're going to give you 4 different versions of the style weight just to see what it looks like with this one particular SREF code, which is that upper left-hand image plate of lasagna from that slide a couple minutes ago. So here's the first SREF code that we're doing with a style weight of 50. Now remember, the default's 100, so this is half of the default, okay? Now I want you to compare that with something with a style weight of 250. Compare the difference. This has the same prompt we showed you with the same SREF code, but the style weight changes here. The creative volume jacked up a few notches, right? What do you think? How about another helping, right? So look at the style weight of 500 to see what this does with the art aesthetic. Remember, the default here is 100, so this is, 5 times more of that. And we're showing here 250 and 500 so you can compare just how big a part the SREF code plays in making the subject change. Are you ready for something with the maximum volume? So here's 1,000. This is the highest style weight you can use. So take a moment to compare the effect of 500 to what you get with 1,000. Do you see how the SREF code influences the final result with the prompt? But the style weight is how you can control that effect. One last thing about art aesthetics, and we're going to touch on that mood board idea again. I encourage you to create your own personalized mood board, and this is where you can influence Midjourney on your tastes, styles, and images that you actually like. But due to time constraints, I'm not going to go too deep into that. If you want to learn more, check out this video on our channel for a step-by-step walkthrough on mood boards. You'll love it. So let me show you how that same lasagna prompt with the SREF code, the style weight, but now with the mood board turned on, here's another way that you can control the output in Midjourney, and this one inserts your personal tastes into the mix. Hold on to your butts. This is going to blow you away. Here's our original prompt and image. Everything is the same, and we're using the SREF code with the style weight of 50 for this demonstration. So all we're going to add here is our main Midjourney version 7 personalization profile. So this is my personal one where I've ranked images that I've liked to inform Midjourney on my taste of what I believe looks great. If you make one of these, yours is going to be completely different, but we're using mine, right? And by the way, if you want to copy this personalization profile I'm going to show you, feel free. It doesn't matter. So ready? Here it is. Bam. Not only is this probably the most perfect piece of lasagna ever, when you compare this to the first image on the left, it makes that one look inedible. Okay. I guess I picked some pretty good images for my mood board, right? What do you think? So let's recap. Here's what I've shown you today. First, begin with the end in mind and use specific prompts to get better results. Don't simply wing it. Secondly, you can increase the speed at which you create and iterate by using either the power permutations curly bracket technique or the repeat command. Generate more ideas from the start. And lastly, you can control how Midjourney renders images using SREF codes, style weights, and mood boards. So if you found this video valuable, there's so much more to be shared in the professional Midjourney experience community. I can't fit that into YouTube videos, right? Your membership gets you access to the community and a weekly newsletter filled with tips, tricks, and ideas. We've got a link in the description. Just click that. But wait, there's more. Community members also get personal video responses to their specific Midjourney questions. We even have an open office hour on Tuesdays, because what are you doing on Tuesday, right? During which you can share a Midjourney challenge and we'll work through it together, and that's all on Zoom. So hit subscribe if you want to learn more tutorials like this, or let me know in the comments which technique you're most excited to try. I love to create a video just for you. Thanks for watching. Now create something amazing.